friends, and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. 50 years, and a few days ago, almost a week, NBC premiered the next episode of the classic Star Trek TV show. It was called Day of the Dove, and these are my honest opinions about it. First of all, apologies for the, again, much later upload than planned. I don't want to bore you, so I just say that I very urgently need to find a different job. And let's jump directly into the episode. This episode has a great start. An away team from the Enterprise beams down to a planet, expecting to see an Earth colony being under attack, but instead they find absolutely nothing. The Enterprise soon meets a Klingon ship, which is exploding from the inside, and a Klingon away team beams down to the same planet. The Klingon captain goes directly to Kirk, and instead of a handshake, he punches him. Isn't that the best teaser we have seen in a long time? The Klingon captain is Kang, and they behave like him and Kirk have a long history together. The truth is a bit more weird. In the original script, the Klingon was supposed to be Kor, the Klingon from the episode Errand of Mercy, but John Colicos, the actor, was unavailable because he was shooting a movie in Italy. So they wrote a different Klingon character, but didn't change anything else. Which means that the story editor was pretty much incompetent, sorry. Kirk now believes that the Klingons are the ones who have destroyed the human colony, but the Klingons are thinking that Kirk has somehow damaged their ship, so Kang has a new plan. He takes the Enterprise for himself. Kirk of course thinks that it's a joke, but after seeing how they torture Chekhov, he calls the ship and asks them to beam up everybody. But at the same time he presses the "Damn, we're screwed" button on the communicator, which means that Scotty materializes only the crew members and keeps the others only in memory. Which means our heroes have enough time to call security, and when the Klingons materialize, they go directly to jail. By the way, the reason why Chekhov got tortured is a pretty strange one. He claimed that the Klingons have killed his brother, Pyotr, and he wants his revenge. So now both of the groups are on the Enterprise, but what none of them knows is that somebody else got beamed up too. Or something else. It's an alien being which looks like a ball of blinking lights, but it looks like nobody notices it. Meanwhile on the bridge, because the Klingon ship leaks a lot of dangerous radiation, Kirk orders to beam the rest of the crew, and then they destroy the Klingon ship. Which is so out of character, I don't know what to say. Why couldn't the ship simply explode because it was damaged or something? Why did the Enterprise crew, in other words, the good guys, need to destroy a ship which is not shooting at them instead of trying to fix it? I mean, Captain Picard would definitely send there an away team to at least try to fix it. Strange stuff starts to happen on the Enterprise. First, they lose contact with Starfleet, because all of the subspace frequencies have been blocked. The crew also loses control over the ship, and it suddenly gets with high warp on course out of the galaxy. And even more stuff happens. An accident happens, and almost 400 crew members are now trapped by emergency bulkheads on the lower decks. So the ship is out of control, and both sides have now the exact number of soldiers available. And nobody thinks it's suspicious. Kirk actually thinks it's the Klingons doing this. So what does he do? He goes to question Kang. And then suddenly things in the room start to change into swords, just like the Enterprise crew phasers. So they start to fight, and our heroes must run away. But Kirk still thinks that these are the Klingons doing it. Spock has a good point. Klingons don't know how to do, well, magic. And even if they did, why would they give the same weapons to the Enterprise crew? I'm not sure if Kirk is so stupid in this episode because of bad writing, or if it's intentional and it's supposed to show us that he's also under the influence of the alien, that is. And they fight, and they fight, and they fight. The vast majority of the episode is two fractions fighting with swords and trying to kill the other people. The Klingons try to kill the Enterprise crew by turning off the life support systems on the bridge, but something prohibits them from doing that. So Kang sends his wife / main engineer Mara to try to do some tech stuff, but she bumps into Chekhov. He has a strong killing mood, but after he looks at her, he changes his mind and attempts to do a different kind of assault. I don't want to use that terminology here, but fortunately, at least for Mara, Kirk comes along and forces Chekhov to smell his fists. But finally, they see the intruder. They finally have noticed that they have an illegal alien there. Maybe it would be helpful to build a bigger wall. Sorry for the lame joke, I couldn't resist. Anyway, this alien creature is fully responsible for the witchcraft, science, behind the changing of the matter into swords, and it also manipulates people's minds. That's why Chekhov thinks that they killed his brother, which never existed, and the Enterprise went to rescue a colony which, as the episode suggests, also never existed. Kirk pretends that he will kill Mara if Kang doesn't surrender in 5 seconds. He of course doesn't, but Mara is shocked to find out that Kirk never planned to do something like that, and she switches sides. Now she wants to help Kirk to talk to Kang, so that they can together find a way how to get rid of the alien. They get to Kang using a new method. They beam from one room of the ship to another, and according to Spock, this was the very first time because it's too dangerous. Interesting that the 24th Century series use this method regularly, like it's a normal thing and not dangerous at all. Anyway, they beam to Kang, but he isn't very keen on helping them. He sees her damaged dress, so he attacks Kirk, thinking that he was the one who assaulted her. And they fight, and they fight, and they fight, until they see the creature. Then suddenly Kang is willing to listen to Kirk. They stop fighting, and the creature seems a bit more weak than before. So they use a different combination. Laughter mixed with requests for getting out. This is a thing I never understood. Isn't throwing somebody out an act of aggression? And since this creature is feeding off the emotions, wouldn't it make the creature stronger? Also, isn't laughter an act of a completely different emotion? Why do they mix two, in my humble opinion, completely different emotions? But anyway, it works, and the alien leaves the ship. And it ends. The story, that is. This episode is weird. I will probably say it many times during the episodes of the third season, but this one is really weird. It's an anti-war episode, and I consider myself to be an anti-war person, so I should in theory love it, right? So why don't I love it? I was thinking about it, and I think I have a problem with the whole in-your-face approach of the writing. I don't know about you, but I like my Star Trek subtle. I like allegories. I like the classic style of the episodes in which you have to watch it more than once to fully understand what was the story really about. There is also the problem with the repeating of themes. I have talked about it many times before, but the third season really suffers from the problem of hey, haven't we seen this exact plot just better kind of problem? For example, the villain is a non-corporal or I have no clue how to pronounce it, a bodiless blob of light, crew members fighting in a kind of an arena. The ship is going outside of the galaxy, even though we don't see it actually go outside of the galaxy. Even the whole anti-war plotline was used already. It also has a tendency to get a bit too preachy, at least for my taste. There are a bunch of character moments which I think should be interesting and developing the characters a bit more, but instead I think they're a bit too confusing. What am I talking about? Well, for example, there is an interesting moment when McCoy flips out because he has to constantly heal people who get wounded in a senseless battle. Or there is a pretty racist scene between Scotty and Spock, which in a moment looks like they will kill each other. But as I said, the only thing I feel during these scenes is confusion. Why do they behave like that? Let's assume that the alien is playing with their minds. So, if that is correct, did the alien put the hatred into their minds? Or did the alien just release their, let's call it, psychological barriers? In other words, was their hatred real, just buried deep inside? Or was the hatred fake as Chekhov's brother? And why did the alien force them to go at each other's throats? In Chekhov's case, he was at least trying to use his hatred to go to attack the other side. Chekhov didn't attack any of the other Enterprise crew members, if you don't count the little incident on the bridge. And I always thought that the reason why Kirk punched Chekhov when he wanted to assault Mara is simply because he was a man, and normal men protect women. But after rewatching it, it looks like it also wasn't his normal behavior. Also, was something similar going on in the Klingon camp? If so, why haven't we seen it? There is also the second possibility that the alien did not control their mind. This doesn't also make sense because we have seen our heroes under stress before, and they were never behaving really like this. So, I don't know, it's a bit too cheesy, but if all of the rumors are true, and the original script ended with all of them singing anti-war songs, it looks like the rewrites help it. And I don't know what to say. I don't hate this episode, I also don't love it. It's okay, but I had problems assigning some numerical value to this episode. So let's say it this way. On my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 5 is just average, and 10 is a masterpiece, I would give this episode 5 out of 10. Not very bad, but not very good either. I think average is a fair rating. But as always, these were just my opinions. Let me know what do you think about this episode. Did you love it, hate it, or do you agree it's just average? If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button, and if you have some free time, you can watch any of the other videos on my channel. You should see some links on screen right now. Thank you very much for watching, and I really hope the video about the next episode will be up this weekend. And from the next week I will desperately try to meet my deadlines. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in a few days. Bye.